Oh, hey, hey. Hola and welcome to the Odogam interview series. I am Genevieve Mwana, your host from GenevieveMwana.com, where the purpose of this interview is all about helping you stepping up your game and play big. All right. Today, our guest is Robyn-Ann Young. Where are you tuning in from, by the way?
I am in Gainesville, Florida. So Florida in the United States.
Florida. Awesome. Fantastic. So welcome and thank you for being my guest. I'll let you introduce yourself to our viewers.
No problem. No problem. I love Genevieve's brand. But hello, everyone. I am Robyn-Ann from Robyn-Ann.com, a speaker, author who just really loves to empower women to really walk forgiven, fearless, and free in their purpose. So my brand is targeted especially to women of God, women who know God, and realizing that means you, more than anyone else, know that there is a calling, a purpose on your life that you can't afford to play small with because other people are waiting for you to step into that. So that's a little about me and my background.
Perfect. Robyn, you are the author of Women Who Finish. Tell us about the book and the inspiration and how it all came to life.
Yeah, so it's actually right here. You mentioned it. This one is a devotional, the beginning of a series, but it really was birthed from my own journey. I think growing up in the church, growing up as a person that said, I'm a Christian, but I was living such a purposeless life. I felt like I really didn't know what to do with that relationship with God. Or if I had ideas, I felt like I just sat on them, just saying I was praying or hoping for something to happen. Yes. Never really actually doing what it takes to level up and put those talents to use, put those gifts to use. So in my own journey, and God kind of calling me out to realize that, he hasn't just given me these things, this calling, this purpose to sit on, and that no one was going to prioritize it for me. I think I just thought someone was going to come along and say, oh, you're so great at this. Let me go ahead and assist you in getting this accomplished and fulfilled. He was like, no one is going to do that for you because no one can do that for you. You have to know how to prioritize your own purpose, your own lane, and finish what I gave you to do specifically, not just watch what other people are doing. So in that journey and some of the verses he took me through and just some of those mindset shifts, because so much of this about stepping up our game is mindset, yes. Right? And so a lot of those is what I just started writing down, journaling, and I wanted to package that into something for the women that I was working with in my mastermind. So that's how I put it all in a devotional and, was making it available to those women in my mastermind, but also put it on Amazon because I know the truths really are going to help. A lot of women just know how to get out of just talking about it, well planned and well said things, and get to well done where it's done.
Yeah, fantastic. Hey guys, if you are watching us live, please feel free to first of all say hi and then type your questions below. We'll go through them as we finish or towards the end of the interview. And if you are watching us on replay, feel free to do the same as well. So I'm going back to finishing. So what do you think, or what would you say?
Yeah.
To women who start one thing and then a second and then a third and then a fourth and then a fifth and not finishing any of them, then going back to the first one.
Yeah.
And I raise my hand, right?
Me too.
I raise my hand, but what would you say to them? What's the best way to tackle that and start something from beginning to finish?
Right. The biggest thing, because I'm the same thing, especially when as women, we tend to have multiple passions. So it can get really hard to know, what do I focus on? And we just think we can go after all of them at once and just make time for it. But obviously we realize we can't make time. You really have to take time from something else to finish a task. And I think when we don't realize that, that's when, things fizzle out. We realize we don't have the time. They don't get finished. And we just, are randomly trying to go to the next thing. So for a lot of the women in my mastermind, that's big. That's actually one of the biggest things where I tell them, it doesn't matter how many passions you have. We're going to start with one. Yeah. We're going to start with one, and we're going to learn how to finish one, because that discipline of mind, that momentum, that focus is going to help build your confidence in so many ways to then tackle the next thing. But, finishing one thing is so big, especially for women, to really boost our confidence and our discipline, to know that we can get things done, but it has to be one at a time. You can't try to revamp your entire life in one season. Seasons are important into focusing on one thing until it's done. Oh my gosh, such a breakthrough that it gave me doing that.
It's a great sense of completion, and then your can-do attitude is even stronger. Like, wow, like I finished it.
Right. I'm telling you, it does so much. Because oh my gosh, I was the same. Just so many unfinished, projects, and that really damages. We don't realize it. It really damages our belief in our own self and what we can do when we just start things but don't finish them.
That's true. Perfect. What's the story behind the lion heart?
So, like I said, classic, church girl here. But sadly, I felt a lot of times I used to view my relationship with the Lord as something that needed to be very private and hidden, because, it had the potential to offend people who probably didn't agree or, had different point of views. And, the Lord started kind of walking me through, again, as I was going through this journey of getting to my purpose, focusing on my lane, realizing that it's important that I owned all of me and every part of me, because that part of my story, every part of my story was specifically going to reach another woman. Yes. And my relationship with the Lord was a big part that was going to relate to and reach a lot of other women who felt the same way. And so he's like, your relationship with me, yes, other people may disagree, but it's not something for you to hide behind or be bullied by. There's nothing shameful about, having just this passionate friendship with the Lord. And so, so the main verse that really kind of gave me just so much of a, I used to hold on to it as like a foundational verse, was Proverbs 28 verse 1, which says the righteous are bold as a lion. And that reality check for me that I had nothing to fear. When the woman who fears God has nothing else to fear. And so as a result, I can be bold in anything that I'm doing because I have the Lord behind me. That's it. I'm not coming to hit people over the head with who God is, but I'm saying, because I have him, I'm going to boldly do the things he's gifted me to do. I'm going to boldly walk in the lane he's asked me to walk in. I'm going to boldly serve with the talents he's given me to walk with. And so just that verse of the righteous are bold as a lion, because we kind of have that lion himself living on the inside in our heart, was what created lion hearts. Whereas for other women who you have that lion, you have that relationship with God living on the inside of you, you have a lion heart. Even if you don't feel like it, there is a heart there that is bold. The Lord is ready in you to do some things. He's bored, and he's ready to do some bold things in your life. So that's what I used to kind of almost draw out women who I feel like are kind of sitting and playing small inside the church, to remind them, level up. There's a big God inside of you waiting to roar. That's where that came from.
That's amazing. That's amazing. There's an echo. Sorry, you guys. I don't know where's that coming from. That resonates with something I heard from Dr. Miles Monroe, bless his soul. He said when he discovered that God's reputation, how did he say that? That God put his reputation at stake, basically, when he put that passion and desire within you, like when he actually sent you, picked you, he put his reputation at stake. So you can't fail, right? You can't fail because God's name is
attached.
Exactly, it's attached. Right. And he said, from that day, I was as bold as Jesus. He said,
Yeah.
I became fearless when I knew that I couldn't fail, that success was like kind of my middle name. I became
Right.
the boldest person ever. And that's how we grew and that's how we died. And that really woke me up,
Yeah.
That really resonates with the lion heart. I love that.
Thank you, darling. Yeah, same kind of revelation, because it's so true. We forget that if God's given us something to do, that's on his agenda, that's on his tab, he's not going to give us something that he hasn't already thought through carefully.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. On your journey as an entrepreneur, what was your biggest struggle and how did you overcome it?
There were definitely quite a few. I think as with any entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship really forces you to look at every area of your life, since your business can only grow as big as your own mindset, really. So it really hit on my mindset in different areas. But I know one of the biggest shifts or struggles first, and then I really had to shift it, was that financial perspective. Almost of the value of wealth and making wealth, because just for a long time, it's like the whole thing of be generous, give. But and so I would feel like I would create things. I love to create things, services, products, and my heart was just for people to get it. So I was like, I just give it, and at some point people are just gonna want to pour back into you. But I realize people don't know to pour back what you don't set a value that they need to pour back.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So for me, I was just so big on wanting to give it away. And my first business actually failed because of that. Because I had a magazine, a Christian magazine, print and online publication that I was doing for creatives. And just giving it all away, Genevieve. Just God will just send magically income. But I wanted it to reach my target audience and never put a value of, letting them know this is what this is actually worth to you, so they could give to that. And because of watching that business tank, so many people loved it. So many people, still are even asking for it. But I had to walk away from that because sadly, I didn't appreciate that value that it had. And as a result, I didn't set the number for, hey, this is the value that you can give into this if you appreciate this. I didn't create that lane for other people to give to it. And that business failed. So that was one big lesson that before I jumped into Uncage, I really had to, learn that if something is valuable, if God has given it to really serve people and to solve problems and to really help people really create some solutions in their life for things that they're needing, there's value on that, because there's value on the time God's giving me to do this. There's value on the freedom God is having to make space, for me to do this. And so I need to let people know, hey, this is the value of this thing. Yes, it is something good. It is something you're looking for. And this is a value that you can, go ahead and invest in for yourself. Yeah.
Would you say that was somehow linked to your own self-worth, or that had nothing to do with it?
Actually, yes. I mean, I believe not just self-worth. I think even the worth of my own talents and time, almost. Because a lot of times we can know that I'm worth something, personally, but when it comes to the time we put into things that God has called us to do, the services that we offer, sometimes we're like, well, that's just for me to give to someone else, and then God will magically, take care. It was just this whole mystical thing of faith, but faith without works. Of realizing if you truly believe you are worth something, then you attach work to that by letting people know what that worth is, that you feel like God is. So my self-worth, I feel, was strong, but I didn't value the talents. I really didn't, because if I did value it, I would realize that I can't just, throw it out there. It's like throwing pearls to swine, the Bible says. When you kind of just put it out for free, you put it out there for even people who don't appreciate it and don't know how to then steward it well and use, what God's given you for them. So, yeah, it was definitely not valuing what I had. I thought if it's, so many people are doing it, so if mine's valuable, then, people come to me, but if it's not valuable, it's because other people are doing it. I don't need to do it. Instead of, no, if you have that talent, it is valuable. Charge for it. Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. So what do you think is the biggest thing that's holding women back from really stepping up, being visible, and walking in their purpose?
So many things. The biggest thing, we touched on a few of them already. I do think a lot of times having a strong conviction about what you have to offer, kind of what we just spoke on, I think that's the biggest thing. I label it as passion because I know sometimes when it's just labeled purpose or it's just labeled a desire, women downplay it and think, this is just something I'm feeling or I'm desiring. And I'm trying to get women to realize when it's something that won't leave you or won't, you can't shake it. You can't shake this burden. You can't shake what you're seeing. You can't shake this belief that this is possible. If you really stepped into this, that is a passion that you should not quench. You should not ignore it. And so I feel like a lack of passion, a lack of women giving themselves permission to be passionate about those things in their heart is, I do feel like one of the biggest things that keeps women from finishing what they started. Because I feel like if they gave themselves permission to say, this is a passion of mine, this is something, I can see it, and I'm the only one that probably sees it, so I don't need to wait for validation from anybody else to decide I'm going to pursue it, then they would free themselves up to really just run after it, focus on it, and get it done. But too many times, they're like, well, that's just my desire, and I have to wait first to see if other people kind of validate that before they think it's going to be important enough to commit and finish it. So definitely, that lack of passion, man, we're afraid to tell ourselves we can be obsessed with this thing that we see. We're allowed to be obsessed with the vision God's given us because you're the only one he's given it to. So you're going to have to be the one to obsess over it.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I totally agree on the word passion. To me, it's like that fire that you can't put out, right?
Yes.
Put out. It's going to keep burning, and ultimately it's going to consume you, right?
It really is, yeah.
Consume you if you don't let it express itself, if you don't push it out, right? I love that. Definitely.
Yes. And like I tell many of my women, it takes a lot to get something done, but realize that if you don't do this, it's never gonna stop. Like you said, consuming you. It's never gonna stop. And so might as well, instead of feeling that pain of it consuming you and doing nothing, push towards the pain of seeing that fire, birth and really produce, a lot of change and transformation in someone else. Yeah.
And the thing with fire, what we have to realize as well is that it creates a trail, right? You burning and others are going to stop burning, and you have that magnificent effect where you change somebody's life who's then going to go and change somebody's life, and that's how you create, your legacy. Hey, Matty, I can see you.
Oh, Matty. Yeah.
Create a legacy, and that's how you impact, and that's how you leave your imprint onto the world.
Yes.
Awesome. I wanted to talk about your logo. I love it. The cage. I have in my mind a vision of what it is, but I want you to tell us what it is.
I know. I get so many questions on that. And then when people hear it, they're like, oh. But so Uncaged, definitely stems from that whole lion heart we mentioned earlier. There is a lion on the inside of you that, is ready to roar. And so live free in that, and stop letting culture or your own thoughts cage you. Mm-hmm. So in the center of my logo is the outline of a lion's face.
Yeah.
So that's what, I wish I had something right here.
Let's see if I can put it up.
Can you put it up? I have it back there behind me, but I don't want to get up. But yeah, I have, it's the image of a lion's face that's in it. So that ties it all in with the whole just lion heart, man. God is inside of you, a roaring lion ready to do work. Don't let him sit bored. Don't.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's such a passionate God. I don't know why we try to quench his fire inside of us. Don't quench it.
You either let it burn or he consumes you.
I know. I see 2 people are on. Matt's seeing probably someone else. Say hi, whoever the other person is.
I don't know if you can see you guys.
Can you
see?
I can see the on cage, but then the lion's face is trying to hide a little, that lion outline.
Guys, just go on to Robyn-Ann.com. And yes,
here it is. I just found something nearby. So yeah, on cage, and that's the outline of a lion's face.
Yeah.
Because that is like the biggest part of what we have in us, a roaring lion, God calls himself. So let's not ignore that, that reality that's inside of us, waiting to do some stuff, some damage.
Why is purity so important in your message?
Yes, I just wrapped up a whole 21-day challenge on purity. So the biggest call, obviously, as we've been talking about, is just really getting women to be fearless and be bold in the things they've been called to do. But a lot of times women have these passions and they're not aware, I think, of the things that are putting out that fire we mentioned. Because there's already a fire. There's a lion that's ready to roar. He's passionate inside of you. And sometimes we wonder, why can't I go after this thing I know I'm called to? Why can't I go after this thing I know is burning on the inside of me? And I found out for me, because of my own testimony, one of those things was just other compromises that I was allowing, and weeds that I was allowing in to quench that fire and choke out that passion. And so a big part of my background is I was addicted to pornography and lust, and just being consumed, I feel like, with that struggle was something that was a big part of me not knowing how to go after, my purpose and my passion. Right. Because I was just so consumed with, because really an addiction is anything that is anything you're doing that you don't want to do. Right. And I realized so many times with just impure actions or mindsets, it starts off simple, where someone's just like, well, right now I just want this quick fix, or right now I want this quick gratification, or right now this guy is saying things that I don't know if it's true, but I want to entertain it. Things like that make us go outside of kind of God's guidelines to protect us and protect our purpose. We go outside of them and think it's not a big deal, and then when we're now kind of enslaved in this pattern of, well, I just want this quick fix, I want this quick fix, and we keep turning to something that's giving us no results, is giving us a broken heart. I realized impurity and going outside of God's guidelines is such a big part of what keeps many women from running freely with their purpose and staying on fire with their passions. So that's why purity was something that I knew I needed to incorporate in this message of roaring, is that purity is not a do's and don'ts list of don't do this, be abstinent, that I felt like I heard even growing up. I found out it was really just all about guarding that fire inside of you. That's all purity is. And so I wanted to pair it so women started seeing it differently and realize you just have to do whatever it takes to guard that fire and that relationship with God. It, like, no man is worth it. No habit, thought pattern is worth that relationship with God, because that's the source of your fire. That's the source of you being able to get anything done and all the things that you truly want. That's the source. So don't compromise it just for a feeling. So yeah, so that's why purity was included.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I've come to realize that entrepreneurship is a struggle, right? Don't let anybody fool you.
It definitely is.
The struggle. It's not handed on a silver platter. But the struggle is for me is when I stopped looking here and there for the strategy and following that one. She's very successful, so let me try and do what she's doing.
Right.
stop doing that and just let go.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I'm not gonna, do anything. Just sit down and just wait for God to deliver it.
Right. But
that means me tuning into and connecting and growing that connection, and from there, oh my God, I found peace. From then, I'm now able to listen to my own inner guidance that's leading me to my own path.
Right.
I'm able to look at everybody else and what they're doing, appreciate, cheer up my sisters, because, I like being in the game and playing fair game and not being envious or jealous, because I know I'm connected to the source of everything, and I have my own share and I have my own part.
Yes. It's so easy. I'm telling you, it's so easy for it to sneak up. Because even me, similar, thing in the beginning. I have, I've never really been someone who struggled with jealousy or envy. But getting into entrepreneurship, and when you're like, it's not happening quickly, you start looking, like you said, at everybody else and thinking, maybe I should be doing X, Y, and Z. And yeah, same thing where, that kind of just resentment and bitterness started kind of building up of trying to be or trying to do things that God's like, that's not your lane. And yeah, I feel like it's a daily process for me of, Robyn, start by focusing on your own lane. Exactly. So, because you can't block out the world. You can't block out social media, especially when you're right. When you're called to reach people, you can't just block yourself from those channels where they are. So I've had to learn, and still learning daily, get in alignment with what my focus, my call, my passion, my relationship with God is, and what He's asking me to focus on. So when I go online, yeah, like you said, I'm free to just admire, lift up, and know that what is for me is also going to be produced.
Exactly. We all have our own positions, and there's power in standing in your own lane. There's power in standing in your own position. And when you look over there and kind of magnify the other position, you're giving up your own seat. You're giving up your own position and your power. So that's just something to remember.
Yeah.
Robyn, what have you got? I think you have a mastermind coming up.
I do. It's actually been going, but I'm closing it at the end of this month, actually. Yeah. What is this? April. Yes. So, I've definitely spending this last week to kind of give that one last push. To say the beta version, kind of went live a couple months ago. And so now doing another kind of opening before July. I won't do another one till July, but it's really been helping just so many women realize community and surrounding yourself with other women who are also committed to finish. It helps in so many ways. It really helps you shake off, a lot of that distraction and extra fluff when you're riding with women who we've all said, this is the one thing we're going to finish. We're going to do it together. We're going to cheer each other on. And just being able to give each other the resources to get it done too. So it's been really powerful. And so I'm doing one more push that, yes, womenwhofinish.com, if they want to check it out, is, a mastermind that I do run for women who are ready to stop being busy and finally get productive in their purpose and their calling. Yeah.
And where else, how can we connect with you?
So anything can be found on my website, which is robyn-ann.com, ROBYN-ANN.com. You can find anything there, the mastermind links, my weekly YouTube videos, Instagram, Facebook links, all of that information is on there. And then also, like I said, on social media, it's also Robyn-Ann, ROBYN-ANNL. But you can start at robyn-ann.com. Everything is there at Uncaged with robyn-ann.com.
Okay, we'll put the link below this video once we have finished. Robyn, thank you very much for being my guest today.
It was really good. Thank you. I didn't realize how, many similarities just watching your brand from afar and admiring it. I loved even hearing some of your heart too.
Fantastic. You guys, I hope you enjoyed this interview. Feel free to connect with Robyn and myself. Turn on the notifications, because the interviews are gonna keep coming.
Yes.
I'm enjoying this so much, and I hope you're enjoying the value that we are sharing with you as well. But I don't want to leave it to just the interview. I want to really encourage and empower you to come out of your hiding place and into your divine spotlight, as I call it. So the Shameless Visibility Challenge is starting on Monday. Initially, I wanted to do it for 5 days, but I really want to stretch you and let's see what would happen to your business, to yourself, if for 30 days straight, non-stop, you are committed to be more visible. What would happen? And that's the challenge I'm inviting you to take. I will put the links down below, but you can also join from the top of my Facebook page. And thank you so much for watching us live. Once again, Robyn, thank you for being my guest today. Feel free to leave us your question. And until next time, you guys, stay blessed. Bye-bye.